Welcome to another video with Nova. In this video, still working on better lead departures, so we'll be doing a lot of shoulder control, hip control. She's gotten really soft on her haunches in work, which is great. It's going to build that strength in the hind end, and her shoulder control is has actually been quite soft throughout her whole training. She's been easily moving those shoulders around, which to me is quite shocking because of how short back she is, and her neck is pretty short, but she's actually got, I think, pretty good flexibility for her conformation, and she really has the heart to try and do her best in it, which is the biggest thing I love about working with her is how well she really wants to try, even if she's having a big struggle that day. So right now I've been just been bending her, trying to get some good flexion in the neck and the rib cage, really get her more fluid. She tends to get tight in her neck into her shoulders. I just think mainly that's a confirmation thing, just because of the shortness I was saying a few moments ago. So just getting her bending, warming up. I tend to do groundwork with her before we start as well, but I do extra riding warm up. So here I'm doing some two tracking with her, just getting her lateral movement. So this is a little bit more straight two tracking. I also do an over flexing style of two tracking to really just get those neck muscles nice and stretched out. She is going really well on the two tracking. I know it's hard to see in this video here because of the distance of the camera, but she's actually just moving right off of my calf, no heel pressure at all. Only a little bit of rein control if her shoulders start to get too far ahead of her hind end. So now moving into the trot work, I'm mainly looking for her to really get warmed up first, and then as she's warming up, I'm working on neck reining as well. So not needing to introduce it per se because she has had some work with neck reining, but this is just more getting into perfecting it and getting the softness of, as soon as that rein lays on her neck, no matter how long the reins are, that she will just move right off of that, not wanting to get into touching the bit and controlling on the bars, just wanting her to feel the neck. And she's going around really nicely with it. Her left direction, I'd say, is her stickier side. She does tend to have, in every gait, a little bit more stickiness into that left side, but she's doing really well with it. Every time I stop her, I do ask her to back up so then I can engage that hip a little bit more. For those that are maybe new to the channel, this video is an update for her owner on just how well her training's going. I think it's progressing quite nicely. But she is on a goal of going into reining, ranch horse, and depending on how it goes, maybe working cow horse as well. We don't have any cows in my program where I can work on that. So there's a couple of shows that we'll be going to, hopefully, that will have cow horse clinics at the beginning of the show. So we'll get to play around with that and we'll just see how she likes it. We're not going to force her into something if she doesn't want to do it. I think she would enjoy playing with cows, just her personality, but we'll see. So here again, I'm just getting some more movement. I love how big her trot is. This isn't showcasing right now how big she likes to stretch on her trot, but it's still a good amount. She is funny with the poles. Some days she's very confident going over them, and then other days she's like, oh, there they are, and I have to stretch real big since I have a box right here on the ground. And so we're just playing with it, just trying to get her mind onto the obstacle, rather than me asking her to shape her body and having her focus only on that. I want her to focus where her feet are going mostly. But yes, at the same time, I am asking her to lift her top line, really try to step over those poles nicely. She had a fabulous stop into the poles, no rein contact at all. Right when I said whoa, she stopped, didn't even step over the box. I know you can't really see it in the video, unfortunately, but it was so nice. And she did another stop later on in the session in it, and it was just amazing. I really loved how well she like focused, and when I said whoa, she didn't get bothered by the poles being there. So I was really, really impressed with that. And here we're just seeing if we turn around on the poles, just seeing what she's thinking about it with just leg control. A little bit of rein correction just because she was going to step out at one point. But mainly I'm just trying to get her just to get a little different distraction when working with obstacles. I don't want to bore the horses by just going around the arena. I like when I can have obstacles out and how it just throws in that added distraction, and it gives us a really good test on how well the training is progressing as well. I like to give breaks in my rides as well. And here I was just kind of playing with her. She likes to flex and see if I have any treats, and so I like to take that opportunity to like scratch her face. And in our breaks, I always give her good neck scratches and a little massaging, so she enjoys our stops and that she feels like, I appreciate her hard work and her trying, and that no matter how our rides go, I always enjoy spending time with her. So now we're going back into the trotting again. I like to do quite a bit of walking and quite a bit of trotting before I do any canter work. In this part, I am now going to start preparing for our lead departures into the canter. Her Depending on her day, some days her left is a little bit of her struggle, not necessarily the departure, but the actual canter and learning to hold the circles well. Her right is her harder direction. But right now, what I'm doing is working on shoulder and hip control and just seeing if I can get her to be moving around. And at the same time, working on our speed control. So sometimes Nova can get a little too anxious with the body movements of doing the shoulder or the hip, and she likes to speed up in her trot more. So I just want her to just slow down, and if I ask to move a certain body part, that she keeps that same rhythm and doesn't get to anticipating any lead departures or concerns. So I found when I first started working with her, she was much more anxious when she'd get asked to canter. So everything I do when it's leading up to the canter, I really try to kind of trick her almost and change her mindset. So now here is a little bit over flexing two tracking style I'm doing at the trot. I'm not doing the straightness of the two track at the trot, which is a little bit more advanced. So I'm just working on the flexion and then lateral movement to really get her to stretch more. And she's been doing really good with this. Sometimes her hip lags a little behind. And that's just, rider needing to make sure that I capture that hip at the right moment when I'm asking her to laterally move. And I thought this would be a little cute little piece for her owner, as Nova is so social. She loves the camera, I think. So I was asking her to round her top line, and she was actually trying to give me haunches in versus really staying straight and rounding out. But that's okay. I didn't get after her for it because she was just trying to give me an answer that she thought I wanted. She's a super smart horse, at times way too smart for herself. But she is really, really fun to work with, and I love how she really tries. So now I'm preparing the lead departures. I'm asking her to really round out her body, playing with a little bit of haunches in, not asking every time I bring her haunches in, I'm not asking for the lead departure then. I'm only asking to move her hind end around and then moving the shoulders around as well. And so this will play into when we need to have flying lead changes. I need to be able to move her whole body around to really help with those changes to engage the hind end, making sure the change comes from the hind end first. So here's some of the shoulder control. I don't ask her to hold it for a long time. It's when she really gives it to me, like in a very good way, then I let her go. So that lead departure had a little bit more attitude in it. She's trying her hardest to do what I'm kind of suggesting here of keeping that roundness. She likes to throw her head into it and really pull through the shoulders, not necessarily straight ahead, but up into the air, having a little too much elevation in her lead departure. Some of the elevation comes from the attitude. That's just her and working through her previous training of kind of forcing her into the canter. And so I'm just bringing it back to just get more softness and more mental suppleness through that departure. So this departure that she gave me was a lot softer, not like her best quality. Those are hit and miss, but she's getting there each time that we work on this. She's getting better and better. So then I just let her have the canter for just a little bit, and then we come down to a walk departure, and then we'll go back into trotting. I play with it back and forth. I don't always do down transitions into trotting or always into walking. I do a bit of both, and then the lead departures up into the canter will always be a mixture of either trotting or walking. Walking into the canter is much harder, so some days when she's feeling more, let's say, flexible and supple, then I start asking for the walk to canter departures. And so we're just working on getting soft, staying nice and supple between my hands and my legs, and not having the anticipation of the lead departure. She'll get bracy. In today's ride, she was bracing a lot more in one direction than the other, and so I just wait until she gets softer, where I can let her go and she can be more accountable for her own body, not me forcing it. And then I ask for the lead departure. Then I just remind her while we're cantering, bring your hind end up, lift that back so she can get stronger and stronger, where she'll hold these transitions a lot better. So there you did witness her, how she likes to pop up in her carriage when she comes down in transition. Those are getting better as well, but also hit and miss. Down transitions are harder, and over time this will all improve, and she's had a huge progression on her training. I give her little breaks in between the lead departures so she doesn't feel like I'm rushing her through them. We again go through the asking for roundness, really engage that hind end, lift that rib cage nice and soft, and then we try a walk transition. And if she is not feeling mentally supple with it, like right there, she gave me like a little bit and I'm like, okay, let's try. But she tends to try to rush into a trot and get a really rushy trot. So then I bring her back down to say no to the rushiness. It's okay if she goes from a walk to a little trot and then into her canter. However, I don't want her almost like feeling like she's trying to run away from it. So this transition here, this walk to trot into canter, was really, really nice. She wasn't rushy at all. I gave her a few pets for that one because I was really happy with it. And now I'm just gonna hold her on the circle, asking her to get nice round and supple. I want her to build that strength and also work on trying to keep herself balanced on the circles. She used to just be a huge diver on her circles, and that's because the horses have to really build the strength to hold themselves on them. It's really hard. I want her to do it on her own. I don't want to be holding her up on her circle all the time and directing her. She has to do it on her own. So to develop that, I also come down to smaller circles, again asking for roundness, getting that hip to engage, driving her forward, and now coming down to that transition was great. Now switching sides, we did work on it quite a bit, and then this was like her best transition on the right. I really loved that. I had some interruptions on the video, so I did have to cut out others with people coming around. I try not to get kids in any videos when I'm working, so when I have issues like that, I do have to edit out pieces. So here we're just working on building that strength, having a stop. And then because we had such a struggle on the left, her right was really nice this day. We had a few good transitions, but again, I did have to edit out some of the video for interruptions. But I ended up going back to the left side to see how well that held, and just finishing up with just that harder side, so she had that in her mind of it. And so we had a little bit of a roundness struggle. So we were working on that, and we had a rough patch right there. When she gets mentally stuck, she lifts and pulls into it. It's not a beautiful dressage elevation. She like gets upset and pulls into it. And I understand there's probably some strength issues there that, as we're working, she just gets better and better. But being mentally stuck, I try to work through that. I have to work on the horse mentally, not just physically. And so we're like a little stuck, right there. And she got softer, and a nice transition. I like that. I like her little elevation she does, but again, it has to be real soft and with us. And I loved how she was cantering around here. This ended up becoming the end of our session, and her little stop try was incredible. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.